Okay, guys, I thought I would try something different today and give you some video footage of Dungeons and Dragons Online, which is one of my favorite, but a very old MMO. Game is about 15 years old now. I started been playing it on and off. And as you can see, this is um, one of my characters, Flintforge the Brazen, which is right now it's haven't played it long. It's a level 4 barbarian, but he's wearing that 15-year anniversary cloak, which the game company gave to all the players to commemorate the anniversary of the game. This is the character creation screen. If you played DDO in the past, Dungeons and Dragons Online, DDO for short, then you are aware of how this goes. If not, and this is the first time you're looking at it, it's a very old game. If you're not really into old graphics, like retro MMO, as I like to call them, such as DDO and even something like EverQuest, this game may not be your cup of tea. But if you like Dungeons and Dragons, you will enjoy it because I think even though it's not the best MMO out there, I think I prefer like Warcraft and other games that are more developed or that have more features. DDO is pretty unique because it's mostly an instance game, meaning that you go into dungeons and the DM narrates it, but it's an instance where an area where a player or a group of players can sort of adventure together, and they're all different, as opposed to a more of an open world type game. So this is Flameforge, but what I thought I would try, which might be fun, would be to start create a new character and from scratch, and so you can see what the character correct creation looks like, and going to some stats because DDO is based on the 3 point. It's an older game, so it's based on Dungeons and Dragons 3.5, which is what Wizards of the Coast was using as the game system back in the day. A newer game, there is a newer Dungeons and Dragons MMO called Neverwinter, and Neverwinter came out, oh, I would say around 2011, 2013, around that time. And that one uses the fourth edition rule set, which is very interesting. So you have some characters there. You can make like a dragonborn, stuff like that. But for our purposes, if when since we're playing this game or showing the some of the properties of this game, I think that we will follow the 3.5 rule set and see how they compare. That's how they translate from the paper and pen game, tabletop game to DDO. So that's what I wanted to go ahead and do. Here we go. We're going to create a new see a new character. So let's go ahead and create one. Um, And so you can choose your play style. Different styles are like melee, spell for spellcasters, obviously specialist, iconic. But I think I'm just gonna stick to melee because I like melee. Melee characters engage in up close hand-to-hand combat. It tells you if, in case you don't know. And male, female. Flintforge is a male, so let's go to female just for variety's sake. Um, and yeah, let's do that. And then we'll go with class. And the class that I want is a fighter, so we got that. If you pay money, there's some of the classes you have to unlock. You gotta pay to play, like a monk. Um, but you could be a barbarian, paladin. I'm gonna stick with fighter just for demonstration purposes. It says fighters can use a large variety of weapons, all types of shields, the heaviest armor. They can also train in many combat abilities than other melee classes, and they're very good for solo play. Which is a good thing because in DDO, excuse me, in DDO, um, a lot of times since it's an older game, you may not be able to find a group all that readily, and so you will have to solo sometimes. But I find that even if I'm not in a guild, can't find a group, which you can still find groups, but if you're having trouble depending on your server time or other factors, that it's good to have a character that you can solo. The game also offers you the ability to buy with not with your own money, but in-game currency, something that they call a hireling. So you can actually buy some assistance. So you're running through dungeons not by yourself, and that comes in handy because you can buy a hireling at lower levels, and you could get a cleric, for example. And so some of the lower levels dungeons are not that hard, but as you go up in levels, you will want the ability to heal, and the hireling can go ahead and follow you into a dungeon or a whatever zone you are happen to be in. And if you get in trouble with monsters and you need some healing, that's when the cleric definitely comes in handy, obviously. So fighters get more feats than any other class. I mentioned DDO is a 3.5 rule set game. So obviously you will have an opportunity to select some feats, and also to have some your skills and feats. Feats specifically are a feature of 3.5, although it did carry over into later game systems. So fighters get more feats than other classes, and as a result, they have a lot of attack options for battle. And fighters are also able to use more weapons, armor, and shields than any other class. So it's pretty standard. And then your stats here, you can go into roll a character and have your pre-made stats. So as you can see here, strength is the most important stat for fighters, and then it gives you a dexterity next, constitution, intelligence. Wisdom is up on a 10, which is about average. Constitution is good for fighters who want more hit points. That's what you want with the fighter. Anybody who plays D&D pretty much is familiar with this concept. All right, so let's go with the female fighter. And a path you can choose is basically you can build your character from scratch, and it's recommended for advanced players. Um, Basically you get to you get to customize, and you choose your stats and your feats and your skills, um, and you can change. Right here it has all the stats at 12, but you can obviously change it to whatever you want it to be. Okay. Uh, and then the race. This is important because wow, look, almost all the races you have to unlock with either in-game currency, which you get by playing a lot of the game, or you can spend your own money, which I don't recommend unless you really want to. But so the races that are open are the dwarf. Oops, I'm gonna go back because I don't want to do a dwarf. Actually, I want to go with a oh, okay. Well, maybe we might have to do dwarf because oh no, actually, yeah, we'll have to do dwarf. I kind of wanted to play an elf, but all the drow elves you have to unlock, and the half elf you have to unlock. So there's a few choices in terms of race, which you can or cannot do unless you pay money. So you have to dwarf. We could have an elf that's a Corvair elf. That's not too bad, actually. So let's look at the stats for the elves. You can, oh, actually, it doesn't have any stats because I haven't put any in this one. Okay, so we might do that. I kind of like that. And the look of it, oh, here is where you can go ahead and put in your own ability points. This is what I wanted to do. Um, because basically there's a recommendations, or rather you need to have um, an amount of statistics for your character in order to make it like what they call a good build. And so in the free to play version of DDO, because you can get a subscription and then everything gets unlocked, but in the free to play version, which I'm using just for demonstration purposes, you get a 28-point build. And what does that mean? That means you get 28 points total to put into all your stats. And then here it tells you how much the points cost, and then it tells you what the modifier will be. So for example, strength affects the melee attack, of course. Dexterity affects the armor class, and constitution is the number of hit points that you get. If you were a cleric, you would want like a high wisdom, for example, because to deal with healing spells. You know, if you're a fighter, obviously you want your strength to be very high in order to get more to maximize your hit points. So what we'll do from this point on is we'll go ahead and choose our build, put in some points into the stats, and then we'll proceed from there. I do have um, some notes on what the elves have going for them in 3.5. Basically, they get in terms of their at least in the tabletop game. In I don't know if DDO will translate to that. I'm pretty sure that it'll probably be very close to that. There is a dexterity bonus of +2, but the Constitution it takes a -2 penalty. There's a +2 racial bonus for saving throws against enchantment spells or effects, and there is also a +2 racial bonus on listen, search, and spot check skills. And the favorite class of the elves is a wizard, but of course I'm doing a fighter build here. Um, I can understand why favorite class is a wizard for elves because of lore and game mechanics, but for our purposes here, I'm sticking with melee. So we'll go ahead and do a build on this specific character with melee. All right, guys. So we're moving on to the customizing our elf character. I had to kind of like re-record this part because there was a glitch, and I think her our look changed a little bit. So that's why if you see her hair is a different color, but I think I'll go back and fix that. But anyway, 28 build adventure. So for strength, I think we're gonna go with the highest you can go. I think it's all the way up to 18, but that wouldn't leave us very many points. So I'll go with 13 on that, which is kind of the basic L first level build um, ability for strength, and then dexterity will also go with like a 13. Constitution, you do want some constitution because that's your hit points, especially for a fighter, and that's going to give us 10 hit points, which is not bad to start off with. And then the intelligence will bump it up to 10 points. We still got 14 points left, so we'll do a wisdom of let's do 9 on the wisdom. That'll only give us a -1 penalty on the modifier we can live with. We're not going to be casting too many spells or anything like that or hardly we're not going to be casting any spells as a fighter. And then the character, I mean the charisma rather, is a 9, which also lowers the charisma to a -1 on the modifier. But it's okay because we're fighters and we're not going to be diplomatic or having too many charming people. We're going to be bashing them with our weapons. So that's the good build right there. Let's see, that's 10, 20, 30. Ooh, do we even have that many to do? Let's see. I don't think we have 13, 13, 10, 28, 12 points. What 12 points cost point is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, actually we could even reset this, um move this up a little bit. Let's see, that would 14 would give us a +2 and 15 would give us a +2. Dexterity of +2. Constitution, let's give us a bit of a constitution. Let's a little bit more intelligent. Hell, since we got 2 points, well, actually, I'd rather spend it on strength. Be honest. Dexterity. The +3 modifier on strength would be pretty cool. That would give us 11 hit points. Um, and our intelligence as is plus. Oh, we really don't care about wisdom that much. Still got 1 point. Maybe we give it a little bit of a charisma. Okay, I think that's a pretty good build. Okay, here we have to assign the skill points and skill points. Um, what are good? Let's see. We can consult our 3.5 um, book to see what the dwarf racial traits are, um, or rather the dwarf, I mean elf racial traits. And well, this is a fighter character, and a fighter character is on first level has a base attack bonus of +1. So here we go. Feats. We might want to give them some skills of climbing. This is skill points. Is there a climb? Search. Oh, I don't know if climbing is up there right away. You well, definitely listen. Put some points into listen. Okay. And the way it goes is by half points. You can see we got a total 7 to spend. So let's put a couple points on listen. Jump. Oops. Jump is there. Then we want to do ride. We have ride on this character. I don't think we have ride here. Swim. No swim right off the bat. Yeah, we do have swim. So let's put a point there. So 4 points. We definitely want to go with intimidate. So a couple points there. And listen, search, and spot. So listen, I think we did listen already. Um, search, want to be able to search and have a have on spot. Okay, so those are some pretty good skills. So this is basically going with the fighter class skills, which are intimidate, jump, repair, and swim. Oh, repair is one. Let's see, repair. We have repair on first. Yeah, we do have repair. So don't think we need a full on jump. Let's do repair instead. Yeah, okay. So, well, I don't know if, let's see, where did I put points in? Spot, search. This one's a real good one because you can search in the dungeons for like hidden trapdoors or hidden doors. Um, listen is good because you can listen for approaching monsters or um, foes. I don't know if we need to put a lot of points in swim. There is some challenges in there is some swimming involved in some of these dungeons. I think that'll be okay. Let's see where we go. Okay, so we get feats. As a fighter, the common feat choices are related to offensive power, of course, including attack, weapon focus, stunning blow, point blank shot, dodging, shield mastery, and other good choices include iron will, reflexes, and bullheaded. Okay, let's see. I think weapons focus is something that we need to have. What are we gonna focus our martial feats in? Weapon focus is on either thrown, range, piercing, or bludgeoning. I think maybe a bludgeoning weapon feat would be good. And then you get to pick a class feat, which is what your class tied to your class, which in our case is fighter class feat. Um, Shield mastery or two-handed fighting. Defensive feats, iron will, toughness. Oh, you gotta go with toughness, right? Oh wait, am I even on the right class feat panel? Spellcasting. That's not skill focus. Where are the class feats? Oh, that was proficiency. Combat styles. Martial feats. Proficiencies. Ranged. Oh, I see. Okay. They have them by categories. Um, Show unavailable because I don't want to see what I don't have. Show active, show passive. Two-handed fighting. Okay, we'll go with two-handed fighting there. Basic feats. How many of these can I get? Oh, here's the racial with the elf. Defensive fighting, sneak. I think attack, right? You. Oh, these are the feats I already have. Okay, got you. Okay, I have all of those because of the fact that I'm an elf. I have some of these martial, some of these racial feats. The book says that the elves have. See, what do they have? The elf as a racial feat. Back. Look. Okay, the elf racial traits um, include +2 dexterity, -2 constitution, low light vision, weapon proficiency. They receive a martial weapon proficiency feat for the longsword, rapier, and longbow and short bow, and bonus feats, swordplay and archery. So, what did we get here? Martial feats, proficiency. Look at all those proficiencies. Okay, that's great. Do I have it all? I think that's all. Oh, okay. I get to put in the points here. Oh no, this is a summary. Your character will have the following stats, skills, abilities, and feats. So he tells me all the skills that I just picked a while ago. He tells me the race and class features. So here's where I can see my proficiencies. Heavy armor proficiency, light armor proficiency, martial weapon. All those proficiencies are there. And the racial feats, Elven Keen Senses, Enchantment Save Bonus, and Immunity Sleep, which is really nice. Okay, so next. Oh, okay, here's where I can customize the look. And I want to go back to the hairstyle, which originally was like, whoa, no, which originally was like a green there. Uh, let's just randomize the rest because I don't really feel like spending too much time with it. Oh, okay, well, it changed my green hair. There we go. Give it a name. What's a good elf name? Solaris. The wise. No. Solar is the. Oh, how about Drusilla? Not to be confused with Drusilla, the vampire. Drusilla. Can't think of anything. The wise. Okay. Oops, I went alignment lawful good. That name is taken. Dang it. Okay, so we'll go with Solaris the Wise. What's my alignment? I think alignment for an elf is since elves love freedom, variety, and self-expression, they lean strongly toward the gentle aspects of chaos. Generally, they value and protect others' freedom as well as their own. They are more often good than not. So lawful good or chaotic good. Well, okay. Create. That name is also taken. You're kidding me. Okay, so let's see if I can come up with a good name for this elf. The elf will be named. I got some suggested names here. Hang on. How about just Leah? I bet you that one. Yeah, Vanette, Vidania, Vidania. Yeah, they took all the good elf, female elf names. Okay. Um, Verdana, which is also a font. Yes, no. Of course, somebody would take Verdana. Lyra, Lyra. No. This is pissing me off that they took off all the good elf names. Um, Dixie? Dixie's gonna be taken. Yeah. I might have to randomize the name, but if I randomize the name, I think it'll randomize everything. Yeah. God dang it. Georgina. It's not really a name, an elf name, but can't think of anything else. Georgina. Yeah, they're too common. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna have to think about this and see if it allows me to. I think I have to plug in my computer anyway because the screen went a little dark, so I need more power. So I'll be right back. All right, guys. So we managed to come up with our female elf named Brienne the Wise, and she's a fighter. She has no armor though, which is disappointing. But I forget that when you start the game, you're pretty much naked. You don't have armor, and you have to earn your armor, which is not the case for Flimforge because he's already been around 4 levels. But Brienne is starting from scratch, and that's sort of what her character model looks like. She's an elf fighter, but she has no weapons. Although I think when you start the game, when you go through the tutorial, you will go ahead and get your first weapon. And yeah, I didn't think that coming up with a name would be the hardest thing of character creation to be sure. But Brienne the Wise with a Y, which is kind for all you Game of Thrones fans. I've never watched the show, but Google suggested that, and I did sort of a variation on the spelling, so that worked.